Jake,
Hello.
what do you call a man in a pile of leaves?
A mangrove.
Russell T. Davies.
Tish.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah. So Jake gave New Earth a 3.5.
Yeah, come at me.
Not looking good so far.
No.
Hopefully, Tooth and Claw can get things back on track, right?
Yeah.
Back on track?
Back on track.
Back on track.
Like a train.
That's the idea. Pardon me.
Have you any idea what Tooth and Claw might be about?
A bird and a lion.
Bird and a lion.
Ravenclaw and Gryffindor.
Ah, yeah, so Cho and Harry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
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 What the fuck? It's not about a lion.
Or a raven?
It's not about a bird.
Oh.
But it is about Tooth and Claw.
Wow. We just went full circle.
And now you know.
Anything to say before we begin?
Nah.
No.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I enjoy it more. Not that I've seen it a lot before already. Yeah.
Hopefully I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually interested in this one because I feel like every time I watch it I have a sort of a different
Same.
feel on it.
It's very dependent on...
Same as New Earth, but different to New Earth.
I kind of realised how much I dislike New Earth. Like, I used to think it was... No. You've seen the New Earth review. Moving on.
Yeah. Just go watch our videos. Anyway,
Yeah.
Tooth and Claw.
Smooth and small. And plore.
Raw.
And law. And small.
Would you like a jelly baby? Oh, believe me, nothing in my ear was as bad as New Earth.
No.
No, not even Underworld.
No.
Not even dimensions in time.
Not even the creature from the pit.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh darling.
Maybe the creature from the pit.
BBC.
Good old big black cock.
Hoogu chaka, hoogu chaka. Is this where they invent the wheel?
Is that fucking Pyat Pri? From Game of Thrones?
It could be.
No, the face of Bo. Sweet sandals.
The fuck is going on? It's awesome, but what's going on? It's like the Matrix. It's so cool.
1700 style.
It's so cool.
We're watching that.
Don't you love action scenes that are all in close up and fastly edited?
No, I actually kind of like this. It's funny.
That was so unnecessary.
This is Russell T Davies indulging in a different way. It's like the best opening ever.
Is it a griff? Is it a? What's the chimera?
What?
It might be a chimera.
Why are you looking at me?
Do you know what a chimera is?
Yes.
Oh. Do you know what a chimera is because of this episode?
No, I know what a chimera is because of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, that makes sense. Carry on.
Tooth and Claw by Russell T Davies. This is mad.
Yeah. What?
It's like the Unquiet Dead when they fell over.
1979. I think you're a bit further back.
1879. You'll explain your presence and the nakedness of this girl.
I'm dazed and confused. I've been chasing this wee naked child over hill and over dale. Isn't that right, yeah? Tourist beastie.
What's it, Liz?
You'll approach a carriage.
This is 1879.
Show all
Right.
you
Ah,
dare.
Liz is that old. Mathematics works.
No, it's Victoria.
Ugh. Is that a picture of her? What is going on there?
The oval around her, eh?
It's appalling, eh?
Tonight, then you can.
If it
God,
wasn't,
that looks terrible.
if it wasn't midnight, I'd be able to tell you better. But
Yeah.
You just say assassination, you just think of Kennedy.
Now, that's good CGI.
It's because it's not CGI.
it's just Scotland.
Are you
Well,
sure?
it's actually they filmed it in Wales. Wales.
Wales.
They filmed it in Wales.
Are you sure it's not CGI?
Yeah, no, that was.
real.
Well, I think the mountains faces were CGI, but the
Yeah, that's what I mean. The
Oh,
mountain
right.
faces. No, I know they're walking actually through things, but I meant the background. The background looked good because it
that
was real.
spyglass is CGI.
I mean, it's a little bit unnecessary, but you know, whatever floats your boat. Reminds me of Lord Varys.
It reminds me of Pirate Pre. It
It
looks.
reminds me of the face on the back of Quirrell's face before they decided what Voldemort.
Honestly,
was.
Oh,
it just reminds me of Pirate Pre from
Who's-
season 2. The guy from Karth that steals Daenerys' dragons.
Oh, yes.
It looks exactly
yeah.
like him.
Yeah. Looks like Voldemort with a nose.
My late husband's.
They're hitmen. They've got barcodes on the back of their heads.
And please excuse the naked girl. Sorry.
She's a fair old child.
A little box.
What's in the box?
How do we do a close up on it so you know it's a plot device?
We'll get Murray to sprinkle the wind chimes. So it sounds very magical.
I think we're hitting the right notes.
I think
for
David
the story.
Tennant just looks fucking brilliant.
He does.
Very handsome in this episode with his coat all open.
And
Very.
what's- And his
Ah, who
hair's-
the fuck is this?
That's a man in a cage. And he's got gross teeth.
Someone get that man some Colgate.
Box again.
Box inside a box.
Oh, it must be a very important.
But the other box is locked too.
Whoa, there's a box inside a box inside another box.
Oh no.
Oh, look, it's the planets.
Oh, there's that damn telescope. Whoa, I like that jacket.
Now I'd spent more time with him. Listen to his stories.
Lieutenant's jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
After all, there is a full moon tonight.
So there is one.
I think it's Professor Lupin.
There's the last one. That looks like Hogwarts.
That's fucking amazing. I really like that.
That's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I like
Gorgeous.
the aesthetic of this episode. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic of David Tennant.
Who doesn't? He's a gorgeous man.
Got like a hair.
Ah, here. Here's your teammate.
Oh, I'm so sorry if there's any Scottish people watching.
Sorry.
Woo!
Spaghetti.
Oh shit.
Oh no, it's a drink.
Somebody spiked the beer.
I'm fucking drunk.
You'd think the Scots would be able to handle their drink.
Where's my Guinness?
Guinness is Irish.
Whoa.
You fucking racist.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll see it on the video, but I was just like, wait.
There's more people arrived downstairs, soldiers and everything making havoc. I promise.
Yes. Exactly.
Aye.
Jesus.
Don't get too excited. Wind is howling through the leaves.
Really wanting to destroy it.
Monsters.
Start picking up.
You
Come on.
wanted to pick up the pace.
Yeah,
Huh?
just a bit.
They said if we sing.
Oh no.
Oh, nee.
The story goes
What's
back.
happened to his eyes?
My mate, when he saw that, he said, "Is that Eminem?"
Rings through the
And I
valley.
was like, "What the fuck?"
Next morning, livestock is found dripping hot.
The atmosphere. This
Mhm.
episode. It's brilliant.
Very chilling.
It's a cold feeling episode.
Feels like Scotland.
Yeah.
Cultivation. Oh.
Alright. So the body's healing.
Ah.
What about you?
Oh well.
Being inside? There's something of the wolf about you. I don't know what you mean.
Bad wolf.
You burn like the sun.
Father
Gorgeous.
didn't treat it as a story. He said it was fact.
Is he talking? Is he talking about when she looked into the
Yeah.
TARDIS?
Yeah.
When she became the bad wolf, or when she sent the bad wolf
Because
message
the
out.
center of the TARDIS is the sun.
Well,
No,
she,
but like-
she looked like she was
Oh.
burning like the sun, yeah.
Because she was burning with so much energy and power.
Opposed my father's investigation.
Maybe I was being too literal.
Perhaps they thought
Though,
That's what I thought.
TARDIS
But now
is made from energy of a star. Like, this, it's complicated, long, complicated, but you're not far off it. The center of the TARDIS being connected to a
What
sun.
if they turn from God?
Ah! Whoa! There's been some money spent on this bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spent well.
Yeah. Oh no!
Werewolf transformations are always good. So satisfying, but scary as well. Run, you fucking fool! I hope this story has gone really well on the Blu-ray Everest.
Yeah,
It looks-
it was beautiful.
It's so much better looking than I remember.
It looks
Yeah.
like something from like 2010 on.
Yeah.
That's a box! They've got the box back!
Got the fucking box!
Open the box and then the next box to get the box.
It's like pass the parcel.
I am the queen.
Up the stairs!
She's got the box!
Well done, mum. You've got the box. Ah, put the chair there. She'll be alright. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Oh, that's so cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the symbolism.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Fuck. Because yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah. I said the armor.
No way.
Put her in the
She's
armor.
absolutely frightened.
Yeah.
She's shaking in her boots.
Technically, it's more of a lupine wavelength hemiveriform.
should I
A what?
change your weapons in the world?
It was the greatest arsenal we could have.
Arm yourself.
Badass with books.
Was a warning. Perhaps its legend is now coming true.
I hope they break it.
Whoever must
Haha, yoink. Runs away.
TARDIS materializes and he's like, see you later.
Cocaine levels. It's suddenly kicked in.
Real trap, not for you, but for the wolf.
Ugh.
That was a digitally ad zoom.
Yeah. Oh.
You stupid woman.
Why did you stop?
Don't do that.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So a lot of snogging in this.
A lot of snogging. A lot of boogie.
Little bit of hand-to-hand combat.
I'm the leader of the Queen's Guard.
Fuck the queen.
Opens the door, lets the wolf in.
That first step that it took, imagine if it like
It looked
walked
like it was
down.
slipping out of the shower.
It reminded me of the Pink Panther.
Queen is very cross.
Oh.
Mazinga.
Make it brighter. Let me go.
What do you say? Make it brighter.
Let me go, yeah.
Did she get touched?
She may have.
Of TARDIS. Sir Doc.
I banish you.
Sorry?
I have rewarded you, Sir Doctor.
Now leave my world and never return.
Although we may not speak of these events in public, I propose an institute. I would call it Torchwood. The Torchwood Institute. And if this doctor should return, then he should beware. Because Torchwood will be waiting.
Ta-da!
Hey.
Okay. So, Jake, you go first, obviously.
What did I think about it?
Above Tooth and Claw.
Tooth and Claw. I thought it was alright. It's a step up from next episode. Not like not blowing my socks off.
Yeah.
Amazing. Although it looked really cool.
Yeah.
Like in terms from last episode, it's so much more polished.
Yes,
And, like,
absolutely.
and the story even is way more polished and very very well written.
Yeah.
And dialogue was nice. And
I
witty.
think Russell T Davies was much more onto it this time.
Yeah, the dialogue was good. It was good witty humor. Wasn't fucking humor. And like stupid. Anyway, and I thought that it was all great, but I don't know. It still didn't really get me going.
Yeah, I've always had the opinion that it's strange because it's like there's scenes that are slow, but the overall plot happens really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all over and done with
It's
in no time.
It kind of feels like The Unquiet Dead, but a bit better.
Yeah,
a bit more
I've
tight.
always said that about Tooth and Claw. It's
Yeah.
Russell T Davies does The Unquiet Dead.
but a bit better.
Yeah, because Russell is a bit better than Mark Gatiss. More than a bit, actually.
In terms of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, in terms of Doctor Who, yeah.
Some of the other stuff Mark Gatiss has written has been.
Yeah.
And of course, acting. Gatiss is an amazing actor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, so what did you think of the Doctor in this episode? You finally got to see Tennant for real.
Yeah, there he was. There
Yeah.
he was. The Doctor that we were wanting
Yeah.
and waiting for. Not as eccentric as I thought Tennant was going to be. Obviously, he had a bit of a fucking moment,
Moment, yeah.
which was cool. I like that, and it was I felt like it was right on the edge of where I wanted it to be, like in terms of, because you know how I started going like, oh, let's pick it up.
Yeah.
Where I wanted that climax was like a little bit. It was almost getting to a point where it was too late.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. It kind of just had you like, and there it is.
You just
That's
sort
what
of,
it felt
you
like.
just like it's like someone expanding a balloon.
Yeah.
And you just got to the critical mass stage.
Yeah.
And you just started to overdo it, and
Yeah.
then it was fine.
Exactly, yeah. And then the end kind of all went a bit, but it was good.
Yeah, did you get that it was her husband who died was cutting that diamond
Yeah.
because he knew about the wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I thought you got confused by that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Tennant in this episode.
Yeah. So.
He's very consistent.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is he's sort of he's an adventurer, sort of not like Indiana Jones, but like
Yeah.
he's an adventurer who's inquiring and he wants to.
Yeah.
He loves the mystery. He likes to-
He still had. Oh yeah, and I loved how when everyone was like at the werewolf, and he was like, "That's beautiful."
He's like a scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely, this is one of those episodes where he borders on classic Who, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's still Tennant, but
Yeah.
he felt more like an old style
Like a
Doctor.
classic Doctor,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Scottish accent was fun.
I love you.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, I'm. It's kind of gutting that he
Yeah.
that he didn't keep it for the rest of
Yeah.
his era,
Yeah.
because he hasn't. That's his natural accent. He's a Scottish
Yeah.
man. Oh well, it's all good. Yeah, really solid stuff.
Yeah.
Just a shame that they should have had. I feel like they should have had this episode first. I think.
Yes.
Because it was more like, you know, it could get you more into the series. I think.
Yeah.
Or just not have New Earth.
Yeah.
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 It still definitely had a purpose.
Mm.
Yeah.
New Earth, but yeah. Anyway.
But this in terms of like it's just much more fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's I found it a more engaging, atmospheric. Like
Yeah.
it's from
More
the
consistent.
get-go. It's
Yeah.
so atmospheric.
More consistent.
Even like if say like it had the start of New Earth
Yeah.
at the start of this, and then I guess it wouldn't really set the story up if you. I don't know.
But
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, you could still make it work with this bit coming straight after.
I
Christmas
definitely think
Invasion.
this episode has 1,000 times more cool factor than
It's
New Earth.
it's a lot cooler. Like I want to say it's got more. It doesn't necessarily have more energy, but it uses its energy to better effect.
Yeah.
Because New Earth has lots of energy, but it's all over the fucking show.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's all on that. Like it starts out with a weird kung fu action sequence that comes
Yeah.
out of fucking
Yeah,
nowhere.
absolutely nowhere. I was whoa.
Yeah. And then suddenly it turns out after the credits roll, it's a gothic horror story
Yeah.
that just happened to open with a kung fu scene,
Yeah.
which on paper sounds terrible, but it actually
It works.
works.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
cool. It's
Yeah.
just cool. Yeah. Of course, we have to assess the David Tennant cocaine
Oh
meter.
yes.
This one's a tough one because I feel like for most of it he was fairly sober, but then there's a
Well,
moment,
no, we just went straight to fear her.
and he's like, "Oh yes, oh yes, that's right, the wolf."
Yep.
Yeah. So what do
Agreed.
we think? What
So it was a solid sober, and then let me draw the David Tennant cocaine graph.
Okay.
So here we are.
three-dimensional here.
Here we are at the start of the episode, and we go, and it goes, and then that's
And the
it.
TARDIS. Yep. That's
So which degree can we agree on here?
Scarface.
You think?
Scarface. Nah, I think he can go more than that.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that because it's such a short burst, but it's like a big eccentric one, and the rapid editing and him spiking up
I
his hair.
can't say more than Scarface just because for most of the episode he was sober.
Yeah. Same.
Sure. Okay, so it's Scarface 0.5. It's halfway in between Scarface and Fear Her.
Okay.
Yeah, because that one scene was pretty hectic.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the most cocaine he's been having? Although the Christmas Invasion was pretty fucking mental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was way more fucking
Yeah.
uppity on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we gave him Scarface on that one too.
Scarface.
Yeah, I think we'll retain Scarface.
I'll say it was like a good burst of Scarface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poof.
For a bit of a change, I'm going to start with the next character.
Okay.
I thought Rose Tyler was surprisingly very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that
Yeah.
from last viewing of this.
Yeah.
The last time I saw this episode. But she was actually very good, I reckon.
The one thing that happened, but even then it was addressed, is her trying to provoke the Queen into saying, "I'm not amused." Or we
that was more of like a plot thread throughout the
It's a plot thread, but it sort of happened at inopportune times, which would annoy me, except for the fact that it's addressed and she like twice.
Yeah.
Like she gets shut down for comedic effect, and then the Queen's like, "Are you fucking serious? Right now?" And it's just when Rose is acting like not thinking straight, she's doing these arrogant things, like when Mickey called her out on her bullshit in Boomtown.
Yeah.
Underrated. It's just it was the little bit of Rose that bugged other characters in the story.
it was almost like Victoria's like, "Shut up!
Yes, yeah, it was. But
You
other
dumb naked young girl!"
yeah, but other than that, she's really good in the episode, and she's
Yeah.
empathetic, and she's written consistently as well.
Yeah.
Not overly flirty with the Doctor.
And she was really good with the side characters
Yes,
too.
she was.
Yeah.
The
like-
interaction with like the girls.
and being proactive and breaking them out of the chain,
Yeah.
and talking to the werewolf, trying to talk it down, but obviously failing because she's not the Doctor.
The only moment I didn't like was when she stood there and did nothing.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
But maybe that just because that's a rapid chase scene.
That's
There was
just-
something we missed where she got cut off or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What did you think of Rose?
I actually really like the whole "I'm not amused" thing because I felt like she's got to a point where she's seen all these things,
Yeah.
and she's seen how the Doctor fixes every single problem they encounter, and she's just like, well, we're fine, you know?
That's fair enough.
And she's probably just trying to enjoy the moment,
Yeah.
but also
But as I said,
being chased by a werewolf.
in terms of that does make sense.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in the story, it is pointed out that the other characters
Yeah.
are not on the same page
Yeah.
with her on that.
I like that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
a bit more humanizing.
Yeah, that was something I enjoyed seeing that I didn't notice last time. So yeah, that's good. What did you think of Queen Victoria?
I don't know what it is about monarchy and like queens and shit like that, but it always just gets under my skin, and I hate fucking the just.
Is
it because you're an anarchist?
Yeah, well,
I think we can agree Jake is not an imperialist.
no, I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I guess the actress was good.
Yeah.
She did a good job.
She was very stern.
Yeah, she was very queeny, and I guess it's the whole idea was to set up Torchwood at the end of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, why the fuck did she banish them though? What a little
Because
bitch.
they were alien, and
Oh, yeah,
she's
true.
she's xenophobic.
Yeah. Actress was great.
Yeah.
Character was Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Don't really like monarchy.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I
Like
mean, it's
it-
interesting, but I like the historicalness of
Yeah.
monarchy, but then when you show me a fucking queen or king, and like I don't know, something about it that I just
It also
annoys
felt weird when she had an action one-liner when she said,
Yeah.
"The proper way to address me is Your Majesty."
me. Yeah,
It's like,
it's
okay.
very James Bond.
Yeah.
What?
The Queen is James Bond.
No, but like that's something that would happen in
Yeah,
James
no,
Bond.
it would. Yeah. You'll forgive
Yeah,
me if you do.
I like her, but I don't. When you ask me like best historical characters, I generally don't
No, she doesn't
think of
bother
her.
me.
She doesn't
Yeah.
pop into mind.
There are others. Charles Dickens, I think, is
Charles
yeah,
Dickens, for
Charles
sure.
Dickens was better than.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'll give Unquiet Dead over
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's true. Charles Dickens. Yeah. No, but I think she did a good job, and it's kind of cool that how she set up Torchwood.
Yeah.
Knowing in hindsight. What did you think of the host / werewolf? Whatever the fuck it was called, that alien name.
Luna, blah, blah, blah. Oh fuck, the animation was cool.
Yeah.
A step up from last series in terms of CGI and the polishedness of it. Polishedness. It was cool. I wish it talked more in its werewolf form. If it said things, that would be cool.
Guess so, yeah.
But I also like the character, him in human form, whatever the fuck is it, human form.
The
was.
host. Yeah.
The host form, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
And that the host was actually like a trapped host, like he.
Yeah.
Like you saw a very, very little glimpse of him at the end when he
Yeah.
said, "Just
Yeah.
fucking kill me."
I'm not sure if I got this in the trivia or not, but I'll mention it now before I forget it. So you know how I was mentioning how like girls like to watch New Earth?
Yeah.
So what happens is they watch New Earth and then they watch this because it's straight after,
Yeah.
and it's fucking scary for them. A lot of them, like they see that really scary scene with like the black eyes and the werewolf transformation. And they're like, get out of here. That's what I found.
In my case, but this is so circumstantial and like anecdotal. But like I have a friend who's super into gothic horror. Didn't really like the science fictioniness of New Earth, but
Yeah.
fucking loves this episode
Yeah.
because she's into gothic horror and that kind of thing. Yeah.
I thought it was scary, but also not too scary that you can't.
Safe for family viewing.
Actually, this episode is rated M. I will
is it?
note. It's the first one of New Who to be rated M. Yeah, and it's because of that scene. It's very.
That's because of the body horror transformation.
Oh right, yeah.
And that's also why you I think Russell could get away with putting some more like rude jokes in it as well.
Yeah.
There was some dialogue that was very cleansed, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like when like the doctor's like, I bought her down the road for 6 pence or something. Yeah, it was very suggestive. So yeah, that's cool. Like how every now and then they can dip into mature episodes, which is good.
Is there more down the road?
I think so.
More mature episodes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they
Oh
ever,
god, yes. Fuck yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
do they ever get over mature?
No, I don't think they ever get to like restricted.
16.
That's yeah. That's
Because it's still a family show.
although Torchwood.
No.
We'll leave that at that.
We'll leave
But
that
yes,
at that,
but yes,
yeah.
Torchwood pushes things.
What did you think of? I don't know what the real names are for them. But what do you think of the ninja monks?
They remind me of Hitman.
From the game Hitman.
Yeah. You know Hitman?
With the barcode.
You seen Hitman?
Agent 47.
Oh. He's like a bald dude and he wears a suit and he's got a barcode on the back of his head.
He's like 8 foot tall and he's supposed to be inconspicuous.
That's quite stupid. But they were cool, I guess.
They didn't serve much beyond the leader monk.
Yeah.
They were just set dressing basically.
Yeah.
They didn't serve a purpose beyond like they
Yeah.
were just an obstacle.
The
that
lead,
couldn't
I feel like the
prevent
lead monk had a bit of an easy death.
them. Yeah, just
Wait, did he die?
he got shot by Queen.
Oh, I thought he was like some dude that could survive.
No.
Oh,
He was just arrogant.
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah.
Kind of a waste of a good character, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But cool if he was torn to death by the werewolf.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I
Yeah.
think originally in the script he wasn't meant to be a major character, but the direction was so good it made him cooler than
Yeah.
he should have been.
And that's something I'm sure we'll get onto it. But the direction of this episode is so slick.
Yeah.
Euros Lerner's on to
Fantastic.
it.
We give it.
Especially that dinner scene, like could have been boring as
But
fuck.
the blue moonlight
Yeah.
coming in and like the
Yeah.
cold atmosphere.
werewolf.
Yeah.
Um,
Scottish accents.
and side characters. There was the
wife.
the wife and the girls.
The
and
girl in the room, in the cabinet.
yeah, and then there was Sir
That's
Roderick.
scared.
Sir Roderick was all right. I liked him.
Sir
Very
Roderick.
Scottish.
Yeah.
I love the guys at the start when they were pointing the gun at them.
Yeah.
They're like, "Please state your name,"
Yeah.
or whatever they said.
The hand of God. No, the fist of man.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
I think all round they did pretty solid with all the characters.
Yeah.
And plot.
Plot. A good tight plot. Good. Hold on. It was a bit meandering for a bit. It definitely meandered.
Yeah.
Kind of like The Unquiet Dead, where
Yeah.
it sort of meandered. What The Unquiet Dead did meander until a very quick climax and closing of the story. Whereas this one, it was definitely the climax and closing of the story was definitely more satisfying.
Yeah.
And it felt right.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the meandering was just necessary exposition to
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
all the
Exactly,
backstory of
exactly.
the werewolf. And
There's a lot to explain
Yeah.
for this shit.
And the fact that, especially coming off New Earth, when there's this many elements going on, the monks and the queen
Yeah.
being there, and then the guy who's been kidnapped and his father built the house, and the
Yeah.
doctor and
Yeah.
Rose are there. When we could have we've seen before what happens when these too many elements don't go well together.
Yeah.
But all these elements had the right amount of screen time and also seemed to gel with each other,
Yeah.
which is the important thing. Even though on paper, Kung Fu monks and a werewolf story and a gothic horror story doesn't
Yeah.
sit.
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely some of the dialogue. There's lots of big fantasy words that I have no clue what they are. And I think it's a lot of it is when they're opening up all the books and stuff, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
But I blame that on my lack of knowledge of werewolves and stuff because I'm not well researched. But I still enjoyed the plot.
It's very sort of. The plot is very much a standard werewolf story.
Yeah.
It just has that science fiction Doctor Who spin on it.
Yeah.
Like you could take the time travel element out of it, remove the Doctor and Rose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
have Queen Victoria stops at this gothic house, there's some mystery going on, people are being held hostage, there's a cult worshipping a werewolf. Take out the science fiction element, you've got just a typical
Gothic
werewolf,
horror, yeah.
gothic horror story. It's the same with The Unquiet Dead, but this I think does it better.
Yeah.
What did you think of the conclusion where they they rotated the telescope and then it pointed down to the diamond and then
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a two-parter.
really?
Ah.
Yeah, just because I felt like there was some shit that just I just when they were in the room and trying to figure out what to do, I was like, is it gonna end now? Like, is this gonna continue into the second part? But nah, then the revelation and shit. I thought it was cool. You know how when we when we first came into the house at the front of it, and I saw the telescope, I was like, well, that's just unnecessary CGI.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool that they tied that in, and they obviously made it. They put it on that front shot for a reason. You know, like there wasn't unnecessary CGI in this. Like I said, with New Earth, there was a lot of CGI that just was pointless and didn't tell a story.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, the telescope had a purpose, told the story. In fact, it was the main device of the story.
It's the Deus Ex Machina. This is one where it's very sort of like, aha! This mystery thing you had in the box. Of course, it could save the day on a lot. It's done better than some others do it.
Yeah.
But it's still very much a sort of last minute Deus Ex Machina.
I don't think it's total bullshit, but I do see what
It's
you mean.
very sort of just like, you said this one thing that reminds me. Aha! We use this to do this, and then we shine the light at the werewolf.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like a
It felt like Doctor Who though.
It's not one that comes completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I have seen worse and I have seen better. It's very much a Deus Ex Machina, middle of the road kind of thing.
Yeah. But I feel like you need some of those to warm up the series a bit.
Absolutely. And the thing is, when writing these stories and they're so big with their ideas and you've only got 42 minutes to do it, that's just part of the sacrifice you have to make. Is either you establish characters and atmosphere at the beginning and then have a short end, or have all action with very little character.
Tooth and Claw by design is an early series story.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of running around as well. There's a lot of running around.
Yeah.
Which you tend to get in the early ones.
Yeah.
More action-packed sort of deal. So is that all we want to say about the plot?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Cool. So now we get to move on to a YouTube clip. So in the same season as the one with the cheetah people, there is a story called Ghostlight, and it's also kind of a gothic horror. You might find this clip very confusing because there's a lot of context, but basically it's the Seventh Doctor having this really intense chat to his companion about shit.
Yep.
So, and it's cool, so why not?
You tricked me! This is Perivale!
Oh yeah, by the way, she's from Perivale, and she doesn't like that.
It's true, isn't it? This is the house I told you about.
You were 13. You climbed over the wall for a dare.
That's your surprise, isn't it? Bringing me back here.
Remind me what it was that you sensed.
Don't you have things you hate?
I can't stand burnt toast. I loathe fast stations, terrible places, full of lost luggage and lost souls.
I told you I never wanted to come back here again.
We all have a universe of our own terrors to face.
I face mine on my own terms.
But don't you want to know what happened here?
No!
The nature of the horror that you sensed here.
I mean, I was lost.
Yeah, I had a feeling. A lot of that had to do with story arc shit.
Yeah. I mean, cool, but yeah, I was just like, this is just jibber jabber. This is wibbly wobbly.
It just, that particular Doctor, he's one of, like, so when he first sort of debuted, he was a clown. He just was, in his first regeneration story, he gets a fright and falls over himself. Like he falls down a
And that season has been rated as the worst of all.
Yeah, it's not good. But then slowly they changed his character, and as you can see there, he's much more professorial. He's like a professor, and he's, in fact, Ace calls him Professor usually. And he's much more serious, and his jokes aren't like, hey, look at me, I'm a goofball. It's, I hate bus stations full of lost luggage, and then he immediately goes, lost souls. Like so it's just a neat little clip to show that side of the Seventh Doctor, who's usually sort of overlooked as just a goofball.
Yeah, and it's also, I think Ace was sort of one of the first times that they actually explored the backstory of a companion.
Yeah.
And that was all about her backstory. Even though the series was cancelled after season 26, which was in actually that season, but basically the rumor was that there was this plan that the Seventh Doctor was trying to train her to become like a Time Lord.
Oh.
Like a human Time Lord?
And the implication was the Doctor was more than just another Time Lord. The implication was he was very powerful. The reason he ran away was he wasn't running away from Gallifrey. He was running away from his power, essentially. But that's like super in the background and super like...
Yeah. And they didn't get to explore it fully, unfortunately. Because the series got canned. Yeah. But yeah, there's some dark shit.
Yes.
As compared to his first season where he's literally just a joke.
Yeah. Who am I? And who are you? The Rani!
Okay, back to Tooth and Claw. This episode is contrary to New Earth in that more serious fans enjoyed it, but the fangirls got scared of it. So it's like the opposite reaction that the last episode got. Yeah. It's generally regarded well, very dependent on your stylistic tastes, but it has a genre and it generally appeals to the fans of that genre. Yeah. Some say it doesn't feel like Doctor Who.
I can get that. With the Kung Fu monks and even though it's an alien, it's a werewolf. It's just a completely normal werewolf. I can see why it's not typical Doctor Who, but I love it. It's doing what Doctor Who does best, which is taking sort of a typical genre and a typical story and then just putting science fiction into it.
Yeah. Obviously, it was written by Russell T Davies. He's redeemed himself.
Hey,
definitely.
Russell!
Definitely.
We love you, Russell.
Yep.
With the aid of the direction.
Oh, yeah.
Euros Lyn. Euros says Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Brotherhood of the Wolf were inspirations for the fighting monks.
Right. Makes sense.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. He did a brilliant job.
Yeah. He just, even in the scenes where there was just dialogue, which, as you said, in terms of the script, there's most of it, like 2/3 of it is just dialogue.
Yeah.
He made it energetic and made it atmospheric. Yeah.
And also this is one of those episodes that's really improved on the Blu-ray up-res.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really good. For 2006.
Because the thing is, I mean, I've always, like, when I think of Series 2, like New Earth is kind of the image that comes to my head and kind of ugly. Yeah. But I forgot how good this episode looks. Yeah. It's stunning. Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah. Music. Murray Gold definitely took a very different turn in this one compared to the last one. Yeah. Much more involved. Did you like the music?
Yeah, it was good. It was more involved, but still sort of in the background. Not too. There wasn't like any tracks that blew me away, you know, like.
Well, the track we're going to be listening to is called Tooth and Claw, and you notice it most at the beginning, but different versions of it play throughout the episode, and it's a very high energy track.
Fist of Man. And this is just for this one episode.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like New Earth was its own little thing that wasn't part of Series 2.
Yeah.
Then Tooth and Claw is Tooth and Claws, where everything, like the production, the music, the writing, everything's just ready to go.
Because it has like the Torchwood thing in it as well.
Yeah. It sets up the series arc and
So what do you think of that soundtrack?
That's cool. Do you say there was a Torchwood theme in there or something?
Huh? I didn't say that.
No, well, other than the Torchwood in the episode, no, not in the music.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
The orchestra's definitely doing some work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not necessarily overly positive on it.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in it that feels very thrown together, but it's cool.
There's so much percussion in the
Yeah. I think it's good in the episode.
Yeah.
But listening to it as a soundtrack, it's very whoa.
It's hard to sort of criticize it too much because it's
not made as a song.
Yeah, it's a piece that is a series of segments across a 42-minute story that's been compressed into one song. So that's why it's all over the place, as well as it's all this music that, as far as I'm aware, is never used again outside of this episode.
There's elements of it that are, but not necessarily this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it actually, in some respects, it almost represents the episode itself.
Yeah.
It's this really cool sounding thing that's very thrown together, but it's still really good.
It's competent.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite Murray Gold tracks at all. Not a bad one though.
Yeah, is there a bad one?
Yes.
Ooh.
Some of the Christmassy stuff.
Yeah. Christmas.
Christmas. Right. Now it's time for
trivia.
Trivia.
Hold on, let me put some more energy into that. Never mind. Do my wisdom teeth are coming through,
no.
and so that hurts so much doing that. Fuck.
So you know how we had the cocaine?
Yeah.
The David Tennant cocaine minute? You were like...
That hurts so much.
While you're recovering from that, I will let you know that Billy Piper's hair caught fire on set. So fucking random, eh?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know.
Maybe the candles?
Who the yeah. Maybe it was the candles.
The cannabis.
The can.
Oh. Sorry. Ooh.
You put on like a stoner beanie, and then you say the cannabis. You think Billy Piper smokes cannabis?
Probably.
And David Tennant does cocaine. Oh god.
Drug to who?
Obviously, Torchwood is founded in this story. You good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I thought this was trivia.
Yeah, it's trivia.
Oh, okay.
This is the only time in the series David Tennant gets to use his natural Scottish accent.
Oh.
That's really disappointing.
Yeah.
Bring back Scott.
Suits him.
Now this is some real trivia. The Doctor
So that wasn't trivia?
Oh yeah, but this is that's just the warm-up trivia.
Oh, okay.
Also, additionally, the clip we showed you, the Seventh Doctor, he's Scottish and he actually uses a Scottish accent.
Good.
Though it's much more understated than Tennant's was.
Yeah. The Doctor identifies himself in this episode as Dr. James McCrimmon of the township of Balamory. Balamory is the setting of a CBeebies television program which, although designed for preschool children, has gained a cult following in the UK. This town, however, is not entirely fictional. The children's TV show is filmed in a village called Tobermary on the Isle of Mull. And oddly enough, Queen Victoria would usually take up residence in a town called Balmoral.
Ah.
And also, Jamie McCrimmon, of course, was a companion of the second Doctor, and he was a Scotsman. So he's given a bit of a tribute to one of his old mates.
Good.
Of course, I can't believe that completely slipped me by. Yeah.
Right, Doctor.
Doctor.
He's one of my favourite companions. He's hilarious.
He's great.
He's absolutely amazing. He's actually in all of the second Doctor's episodes except for the first one,
Yeah,
which is crazy. He's the most loyal companion.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because him and the second Doctor have like this man love. It's really funny. Like in Tomb of the Cybermen, like they're about to walk in and then they like hold hands and they're like, oh, what? When Rose first encounters the wolf in its human form, it says it can see the wolf in her and that she burned like the sun. This, of course, is a reference to the parting of the ways.
Yep.
The first Doctor wished he had been knighted by Richard the Lionheart when his companion Ian had been, and his other companion Vicky said, that'll be the day. And this is the day.
Sorry?
There was a first Doctor story called The Crusade.
Yep.
The Crusade, like Richard the Lionheart was you know.
Yep.
So Richard the Lionheart knighted his companions,
Yep.
but not him.
Oh.
And then his companion said, oh, that'll be the day when you get knighted. And now he's knighted.
Alright.
And banished. Although, I sound stupid now, the Doctor had already been knighted by King John in his fifth incarnation. So, that'll be both.
So he's Sir Doctor.
Yep.
Sir, Doctor of Tartarus. Originally, Russell T Davies considered having the wolf kill off Queen Victoria, but then decided this would lead into a storyline that would be too hard for the audience to follow.
Oh.
Too much fiction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Killing off a real person.
Yeah.
Actress Michelle Duncan. Actually, that's funny. The last two stories, Russell's had these really dark ideas that he went back on.
Yeah.
Yes, Russell does have some dark ideas.
Yes. Actress Michelle Duncan and actor Jamie Sivis, whatever the hell his name is, couldn't make it through the read-through. These are actor and actresses from the episode. So David Tennant's parents filled in for them.
What?
And then they were tongue-in-cheek disappointed when they didn't get to be in the episode. Because his parents are actors too.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Note that. Pauline Collins, who plays Queen Victoria, had previously appeared in a second Doctor story, The Faceless Ones, as a one-off companion, and funnily enough, she had a romance storyline with Jamie McCrimmon.
Ah.
And I've seen The Faceless Ones. It's pretty decent. Pretty good. The end's a bit weird, but overall it's really cool. It's like they're at an airport.
Oh,
and it's
yes, I think I've
it's
seen
kind of like it's like an original Zygons.
Yes.
But the scene that blew me away, I was at the gym watching it, and it was like I was watching it, right? And then it showed them in a plane flying up and then into space and then onto a spaceship.
That's cool.
And that was a cliffhanger. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
There's some really in the Hartnell Troughton era. There's some nifty special effects.
Yeah.
And
Like,
imagery. Like
awesome for the time. Yeah.
The Sense Right stuck with me, man.
Yeah. Russell T Davies developed a storyline set in Buckingham Palace involving an alien insect getting in Queen Victoria's eye. This was not what the production team wanted and the storyline was projected.
Fair enough.
Oh my god. Russell.
What
no.
the hell is wrong with you?
We did what you wanted on New Earth.
It's
We're
like-
not doing that.
It's like he's so good at writing a story structure apart from New Earth.
Yeah.
But some of his ideas...
That's nuts.
They're absolutely crazy. Apparently the biggest problem with the werewolf wasn't the CGI, but it was the overacting.
Right.
The other actors reacting to the, like...
I actually can't remember what it was.
We'll just go with that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because you would have to act
Big.
You'd have to act to a dude wearing a green suit.
Yeah.
And someone holding a pole
You know what's weird like that is like when it eats up the people. It's supposed to be menacing, but it looks like this Kanye West music video.
Yeah.
I think it's Black Skinhead.
Oh,
and it's like the same. It's the same special effects. It's really weird. Tom Smith, who played the host, went to drama school with David Tennant, and he wasn't Eminem. Can't believe that was Daniel who said that. He's like, is that Eminem?
Yep.
And the working title was Queen Victoria.
Tooth and Claw's better.
Lame. Sorry.
It's 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Ratings. Ratings. So the overall ratings was 9.24
Damn.
million, but it peaked at 10.03.
Damn.
This got a hell of a ratings.
Good.
I
Why
think.
the fuck would anyone want to watch After New Earth?
I don't know. Maybe this is the start of the season.
Maybe New Earth is just a figment of our imagination.
Yeah.
What did we watch then?
Maybe it was just a DVD extra.
We just stayed at the blank screen for 40 minutes.
Maybe it
Oh,
doesn't.
it's like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Have you seen that?
Don't think creative.
It's puzzling. It's puzzling
Green
to
is
say the
not
least.
a creative color. Sorry.
It is really puzzling to say the least. But hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where to go, Doctor Who from 2006?
Yeah, awesome.
Onwards and upwards
Yeah, cool.
and sidewards.
So, Jakey, Hakey, Bakey boy,
Yeah.
throw away the cannabis and give me your conclusion and rating out of 10.
My conclusion is that it's a nice tight story. It was so gothic horror is a cool genre, and I like it, but I don't love it. And so the genre is not going to sell it to me to be really great.
Yeah.
The themes were cool. The introduction of Torchwood was cool. Don't like the Queen. Music was cool. Werewolf was cool. You know, it just looked really polished, and it was quite a polished story. So for that, I'm gonna give it a nice 6.5. 6.5, not sucks. Fucking Kiwi accent. 6.5 out of 10.
Nice.
So a good rounded episode.
Yes. Your turn.
So, 1:30 in the morning, leave me alone. Yeah, I essentially feel exactly the same. I'm gripped by the atmosphere, like,
Yeah.
oh, because I remember distinct imagery, like the light. I remember there was a lot of good lighting, but I didn't remember it being that good. And maybe it's just coming off of New Earth, just seeing the editing being so smooth and fluid and cohesive.
Yeah.
Was a nice change. And the story it's really well, as we said, like, it could have been tighter. It could have been much tighter, and it could be much better.
Yeah.
But for what the story was, which was a simple monster story with a sci-fi twist in a historical environment, it was really, really solid, but nothing special. So I'm giving it a 6.5 as well. Just fine.
Sweet.
Yeah, I really like Tooth and Claw, actually. I remember as a kid never really caring about it at all.
You may have been bored as a kid.
Yeah, I think because it was very mature. It's a lot of big words and dark themes that I wouldn't
And
have
talking.
understood. Yeah. But I think for like you said, a nice sort of warm up monster story, I think it does a really good job. And I'm very pleased by the color grading and stuff. And I think over time it's a story that's gotten even better with me. It's improved a lot. So yeah, I think it's a very, very well executed episode. Not the greatest thing or anything. But I think I'm really impressed at how it's grown on me over time.
Yes. What's your score?
laughing at my stuttering or something.
No, I just want to know what your score is.
Yeah. So I consider this actually a very good episode.
Okay.
And one that I don't think I ever gave a fair chance at first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to give Tooth and Claw an 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I think this is on par with World War 3, to be honest. The second half of Slitheen.
I could see that.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Different
but
reasons.
I can definitely see that.
But the common denominator being is I had as much fun watching Tooth and Claw as I did watching that.
It's lower for me because I find World War III much more entertaining, and I think at this juncture I find Eccleston way more entertaining than Tennant.
I can see that. That's a difficult one because they were sort of playing different roles.
They were playing different roles both in the context of the story and he's regenerated, so he's different.
The weird thing is that in series 1, I feel even though I say that Eccleston's great in all of his episodes, I feel like World War 3 is one of the ones where he's actually not as good as usual. Whereas series 2, I feel like Tennant is better than usual in this one.
He's definitely better than New Earth and better than Christmas Invasion.
Oh, Christmas Invasion's a bit different because it's his intro story and he was only in the last bit.
Yeah, but the thing is with Christmas Invasion is I enjoy it, but he's all over the fucking show on that. And then the New Earth, he's all over the show on that.
I mean, obviously, at this point, Russell was still trying to figure out this character because it was very thrust upon him that the Doctor had to change, and with Eccleston, he had all his time to prepare. But I did feel like in this episode we got some glimpses of like what was the potential of the character.
Yes.
And specifically some of the stuff that's good about the 10th Doctor. I thought he was very entertaining, very gripping. As
I find him very, very entertaining, and his Scottish accent incredibly endearing. But it's just purely comparing why I gave World War 3 and 7. Why I gave World War 3 a 7 and this a 6.5 is I just find World War 3 just that little bit pacier, even though it has an unfair advantage because it's the second half. But
I would rank World War 3 above this, like in a list.
Yeah.
But I still would give this an 8.
Fair enough.
A low 8.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's.
This is all very like semantics and stuff.
Yeah.
But just to give it context.
Very solid. We've got some comments.
Comments.
This one's from our mate Paul Morris.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, he's the guy who provided us with some of that really old school trivia. So he's got some more. This was based off the clip we watched from Fury from the Deep. Mm-hmm. You remember that one with Mr. Oak and Mr. Quill when they were like...
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm not going to partake in that.
And then they infected that woman with that gas. Yeah. That's a great episode. I haven't seen it.
This is how you keep warm, people.
No, actually, this is funny because I was giving shit to the Leisure Hive without seeing it. Yeah. Fury from the Deep is a great episode and I've never seen it.
Of course.
So there you go.
Yeah. Fucking hypocrite.
I want to get called out for that one too. Yeah. They're like, oh, but none of the episodes exist. Yeah. How can you say that? Yeah. Because I like Second Doctor Base Under Siege with Bubble Bath and
fucking charcoal mouths.
I love how they use Bubble Bath in the Second Doctor's era as like a scary thing.
It's like Bubble Wrap with the Fourth Doctor.
Yeah, that's true.
Dark in space. Oh my god, he's horribly infected with green bubble wrap on his hands.
Anyway, the reason why that clip from Fury from the Deep still exists is that it was cut by the Australian the Australian censors, and so survived when the episode was scrapped. So because they censored it survived.
Wonderful.
So the only bit they couldn't show on TV is the one that survived.
Oh, good old Australia.
Yeah. Bit of trivia. The actors chewed on charcoal biscuits immediately before the scene was shot in order to blacken the inside of their mouths.
That's cool. I have a question for you, Paul. Yes, I'm just interested to know... I definitely believe you, but I'm just interested to know where you learned this from.
I will say, the documentary for the Fury from the Deep exists.
Oh, okay.
That might be why.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning it.
Which is fucking puzzling how the episode doesn't exist, but the documentary does.
Yeah. But it's just this thing of I'm just into because I like looking at documentaries and behind the scenes stuff. So please, because I don't comment. I don't comment myself or reply, but I read every comment that goes through this channel. Just so you know.
I'm not allowed to.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but I'm not.
But I want to.
Someday.
Someday. I shall be back. Yes, I shall be back.
The next comment is from Brighter. Not with an I, with a Y. Brighter with a Y.
Brighter.
Which one's this one? Hang on.
You brighten up my day, Brighter.
Oh.
I'm not sure which episode this is actually from.
Which one?
It might be Bad Wolf. I'm not sure.
I think it. Hang on. Yeah, I think that is. Yeah, I think that is.
I think it is Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
As always, great post-episode discussion. I'm a huge fan of RTD's writing. When he is on form, his plotting, pacing, and sheer amount he manages to cram into an episode is always a delight. His little... it's weird reading this after seeing New York.
Yeah, like, the thing is when it's all crammed together and it works, it's brilliant.
Like Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
But then it's weird reading this after New Earth. His little arc placements across a series always have a roller coaster of a ride payoff. I still feel that Series 1 is the benchmark for structure of a New Who series, and of course RTD's character writing is second to none. Top work, guys. Keep it up.
So go.
I would agree with all of that.
I will agree with all that sentiment and not elaborate further.
Correct. And this one's definitely from Bad Wolf. It's a very long one, and it's from Who BP8 with that spoiler thumbnail. Remember that one?
Yes.
Great reaction / review / analysis as always. Glad to see you express some appreciation for the Sixth Doctor. I like Colin Baker too. Unfortunately, he's frequently made the scapegoat for the troubles the series was having at the time. But people forget that Doctor Who was one of the several series that were put on hiatus at the time to free up budget money for the launching of EastEnders, which was a pet project of then BBC controller Michael fucking Grade. This was the bloke who cancelled the series in the first place.
Michael Grade, the worst villain of all Doctor Who.
Fuck the Daleks. Michael Grade.
Who Russell T Davies
Exterminate Doctor Who.
Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat recently sat down and had a chat with the guy with him.
Really?
Yeah. There's a photo on it on Russell T Davies' Instagram, and they just had a chat about Doctor Who and why he cancelled it.
What?
Yeah.
That's like the surgeon that saves you having a chat with the person that stabbed you.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. I've always suspected that Gray didn't think about Doctor Who at all until there was a huge public backlash about the hiatus, and that his disdain for the series came after he was publicly embarrassed by all the folderol, whatever the...
Vitriol?
It's... no.
I can't see where that is.
Okay. The series was going through a rough patch creatively, though. Producer John Nathan Turner wasn't very hands-on with the scripts, focusing more on managing the budget, promoting the series and other aspects of production, and leaving the story development almost entirely up to the script editor, which was Eric Saward. And unfortunately, while Saward had some great story ideas, he was lazy when it came to characterization and detecting plot holes. The way Saward handled the characterization did Colin Baker no favours. That's one of the reasons he comes across so much better in the Big Finish audios, where the Sixth Doctor's character development is in other hands. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened had he remained in the role when Andrew Cartmel took over as editor. Cartmel did such an interesting work on the Seventh Doctor and Ace, and if he had handled the Sixth Doctor, the general perception of Colin Baker might be very different.
I would agree.
With pretty much all of that.
Yeah.
That was
I think that, yeah.
a very lengthy and very...
But the thing is, most of that comment was just fact, and you can't disagree with fact.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, unless you disagree with, like, the Sixth Doctor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But basically, I'm sure we'll do a video on classic Doctors later. But
Basically, everyone and their mother thinks the Sixth Doctor's the worst Doctor.
I love the Sixth Doctor. Even in his worst episodes, Colin Baker is even in the Arc of Infinity. Yes, I know he's not playing the Doctor in that, but he upstages Peter Davison. I love Peter Davison. I love them all. But Colin Baker is standing in the background, and Peter Davison is delivering a speech in the foreground. My eyes are on Colin Baker in the background. He's great.
He is an electric actor.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen Vengeance on Varos, don't tell me he's the worst Doctor. Because there is a scene where he almost dies and you believe it. Even though I know that he doesn't, I still believe it.
Because he goes out in a wonderful way.
Oh, God. We'll get to that when we get to that. Did this episode... Oh, Jake. Yes, I'm asking now. Did this episode have every... sorry, I'll start again. Did Tooth and Claw have everything the Unquiet Dead was missing?
No.
Almost everything?
No, because they're completely different stories.
No.
I think it's hard to say because in terms of sort of a classic gothic monster, ghosts and werewolves, there are very similar story beats, and it's sort of like a better version of it. But it's still not like, it's not mind blowing. It's not miles and miles and miles and miles and miles ahead of The Unquiet Dead in terms of quality. I don't think. I think they're in similar ballparks, but Tooth and Claw is just much more refined.
Yeah.
That's the distinction, I think.
And I think it's mainly due to the difference in Mark Gatiss and Russell T Davies and the way they approach writing.
I think one of the things as well is that a werewolf monster thing is such a recognizable story, whereas we've seen shit like Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways and you know, lore that's just been created for us.
Yeah.
So seeing something that already really exists in other story form is not as breathtaking or interesting. Yeah.
So what would you like to see next time?
Well, see, yeah, I want to see some. I don't know. I feel like it's been too side charactery at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Just continue. What do you want? What do you want?
I don't want it to be side character anymore. I want the Doctor.
Okay. You want the Doctor to
take forefront and be.
Even though we got proper Tennant this time, you still haven't
satisfied.
Still need you need more of Tennant.
Because the thing is, if I asked you right now, how would you define Christopher Eccleston's Doctor?
Fucking depressed but happy when he does right.
Describe the 10th Doctor.
I don't fucking know. He's a wacky ass.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So you haven't.
I don't know him
yet. You don't
yet.
know him yet. Yeah.
So you want more of Tennant in his character development?
Yeah. I want character development.
Cool. Well, next time we're going to be watching School Reunion.
Okay, well I feel like that's not going to be character fucking development because School is never character development.
Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
Oh yeah. See you then.